Hey YouTube, it's Callista. So I'm going to get right into my numbers, and I don't really have a whole lot to talk about today. So you guys are probably thinking, like you're thinking you're lucky stars because normally I babble for 20 minutes of video. So let me get into it. My highest weight was 297 pounds, and my day of surgery, which was February 19th, 2014, I was 291 pounds. And that was when I had my vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Today, yesterday technically, I am 6 weeks out, and I am 266 pounds. So that brings me down 31 pounds from my highest weight, and it brings me down 24 pounds from my surgery weight, which I can deal with. I'm happy. But I did have a dilemma this morning. Let me tell you about that. So I got up and I got on my scale, and I was just so livid because I stood on the scale and I looked down. I'm like, 270 pounds, what? And I kicked it. And I have it sitting in my kitchen floor right now. I don't know why, but I kicked it clean across my kitchen floor, and it hit the wall. And I was like, fuck this. And I was so mad. So then I decide I'm going to go check my grandmother's scale because maybe my scale's broken. So I go to her house and I get on her scale, and it tells me that I'm 266.3. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I come back to my scale and I'm like, okay, all right, scale. Yeah, sorry I kicked you. I get back on it, and I look down, and sure enough, I was reading it wrong. Like, I'm guessing that, like, one of the little lines, because the lines are so little, I wasn't looking at it right, and as soon as I looked at it, I just saw that it was, like, right next to, like, one of the thicker lines, and not even paying attention, didn't realize that it was 266, not 270. So, yeah, I kind of lost my marbles for a second. But as far as my weight goes, that's about it. I am starting nursing school on May 5th, so I guess that's going to be exciting. I took a board certification for dialysis because you're able to work in the state of Illinois. You can work as a dialysis tech for 18 months before you need to be licensed. So, like, if you don't get your license within 18 months, if you've been working somewhere for that long, you can lose your job. So I ended up taking my exam so that I could, so that I could go back to dialysis. I actually had a re-entry interview with the company I used to work for, and yeah, looking to not be a receptionist anymore because I just don't think that the values that they have at my job, or the values they claim to have, are the actual values they have, which is kind of sad. It kind of makes me lose a little bit of hope as a Catholic because, I work in a Catholic establishment, but I mean, when you're mixing Catholicism and science, sometimes it can get a little funky. But, like, one of the main rules in, like, any hospital is, like, no acrylic nails. The techs are not, the PCTs or the CNAs or whatever you want to call them, depending on the hospital. Like, the hospital I'm at, we call them PCTs, but they're CNAs. They're not supposed to wear acrylic nails. We got girls running around in acrylic nails. We got nurses that are not supposed to have acrylic nails on, running around in acrylic nails. And, like, it's bad enough that, like, patients are contracting things that they didn't have when they got there. So, like, we've had patients show up and we take blood draws at 11 o'clock, midnight-ish. Draw blood. Okay. They're good to go. Nothing's wrong. 6 o'clock in the morning, they got C. diff. So, just things like that. I find it to be absolutely appalling. I think it's absolutely disgusting that, management allows that to happen. And then they complain when I tell them that, like, people don't want to do their jobs. They're like, oh, well, maybe you should do it for them. No, fuck you. I'm not doing somebody else's job for them. I don't know what fucking banana boat you just think I rolled in on, but I'm not going to do somebody else's job for them, and they're getting paid triple what I make. Like, sorry, no, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. I mean, there's a couple people that I'll miss. There's a few nurses that I work with that I really do like. I can't say a whole lot for the CNAs. They're a little much for me. I mean, I do have a couple friends that are CNAs that work with me, but whatever. I'll miss them. I have their phone numbers. I'll text them and we'll hang out. So I'm over it. I'm ready to get back into an area where I'm moving all the time, especially because with nursing school, and, you know, you go to school and you're sitting the whole time unless you're doing, like, your clinical stuff. And then, like, on top of it, how much time am I really going to have for the gym if I'm in nursing school and I'm working? So my thought is just, if I'm back in dialysis, I'm running all day, and that will definitely help me to keep going so that I'm constantly moving. And I guess as long as I really watch my water and make sure I'm not dehydrating, it could be, you know, a good form of cardio. Because when you work in, like, if you don't work in dialysis, you won't understand what I'm saying. Because whenever you see, like, dialysis in a movie, or you see dialysis in pictures, like, everybody's just sitting down and they're so calm and they're on their machine and their blood is getting cleaned. And it's like, when you're a tech, run your ass off. Like, you're running your whole shift, because even when those patients are sitting on their machines, you're getting things ready for the next shift of patients that's going to come in right behind them. So I feel like maybe if I'm doing that and I'm consistently going, it'll be good for me, because then it'll at least be a small form of cardio. You know, if I don't get a walk-in, you know, for 2 or 3 days, I'm not going to feel terrible, because when I'm doing dialysis, it's all you're doing. You're running back and forth in this clinic, and you're setting things up and ripping things down and throwing things away, and you're just all over the place. And I think that if I get back into it, it would definitely be helpful, especially with being on a weight loss journey, because I do need to be moving. And I'll tell you, there were times that when I was at dialysis, I would, you know, because you also have this gown on that's, it's part of your protective wear, and it gets hot and you're like sweaty. So there were a couple times that I like caught myself where I had to do one of those and try to ventilate my scrubs, because it got intense. But, I think that's it for now. Like I said, I didn't really have anything to talk about other than throwing a fit at my scale. So yeah, I'm happy so far with how things are going. I'm ready to go back to work. You know what I'm really excited about is, if you look at my, like, previous videos, like, right before surgery, before I had it, like, those 2 or 3 videos right before I had surgery, this part of my nose was so round, it was like a little potato, and it's starting to, like, narrow out a little bit, and that's interesting, because I haven't seen my nose narrow out in a couple years, and this is kind of going down. Take it. I think that's about it. So, questions, comments, concerns, put them below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.